Day 5 of training camp in the books. Got some updates. You can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail. Might be a little different than usual. And the Miami Dolphins retweeted me, so I'm feeling a little special today. What is up, Fin fans? Day 5 of training camp, like I said, in the books. We are going to hear from Mike McDaniel, then on the field stuff, and then we hear from the two new corners in Hilton Jones. Then we hear from Willie Gay Jr. and one other person. I don't remember. It was, you'll see. But real quick though, I was look at this. Would you just look at this? The Dolphins are hosting free agent tight end Noah Fant on a visit today. It's Fant's third visit and have had with the Bengals and the Saints as he continues to draw some interest. Miami recently traded tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Dolphins cleared up some cap space with the reworking of Mika Fitzpatrick's contract. They clear up about $11 million in cap space, and now they are talking to Noah Fant. And I would be shocked if Steeler isn't next in the same capacity. Again, they both have the same agent, Drew Rosenhaus. It'd be absolutely shocking if he doesn't get the same type of treatment with his contract, where it's not about adding longevity, it's about adding security, and that's about making it hard to move off of, if that makes any sense. So maybe Miami adds Noah Fant. And this also could be a situation where, the back end of the tight end room isn't as spectacular as they thought they would be with Tanner Connor and Pharaoh Brown and, all those guys. Maybe there is something more to the tight end room than we're thinking. Waller, maybe he's still, maybe the injury, or maybe he's dealing with something, and the Dolphins are like, let's not take too much of a risk and let's bring in Noah Fant, talk to him, and see if we can come to some type of mutual understanding agreement to a contract. The other thing I want to talk about before we jump into pressers and then on the field stuff, I tweeted out, so the Dolphins, how they normally have their thing where the players come running out, and I said, and I added Willie Gay Jr.'s scream. Well, we want another, and I added Willie Gay Jr. scream. And the Miami Dolphins listened, because the Miami Dolphins retweeted me and said, here you go. Willie Gay Jr., if you are watching this, I would love for you to come on the channel and do a quick little interview. It would be absolutely amazing. I am a big advocate of yours, and I love that scream. It makes my day. So shout out to the Miami Dolphins for retweeting me. Shout out to Willie Gay Jr. for pumping up the crowd at the beginning of training camp. Now, one more thing. Roster move has been official. The Miami Dolphins have signed cornerback Jack Jones and waived Ryan Cooper Jr. I think I already said that. I think that's from yesterday. Also, they have made the Mike Hilton move official as well. So there's a lot of moves that the Miami Dolphins have done that have now become official, like the Mike Hilton one. And they waived running back Nate Knoll, which is a good move on them for moving on. Here you go. You can see it real quick. Moving on from Nate Knoll, because he's not going to make the roster. The running back room's deep, and Hilton will wear 38. So there's that. So now on to Mike McDaniel's press conference. He talks about Kader Kohou, which again, a lot of us have been wondering about. He's saying he's in good spirits and the team's good. He's saying he has swelling in his knee. And he's day to day. If concerned, it would be completely made up. I don't have any information to lean one way or the other. So it seems like he's waiting for the swelling in his knee to go down before they can really decide what's going on with his knee. I guess with this one, no news is good news. because we didn't get much, just that he's day to day, and it's not season ending, and they don't have any news on a torn ACL, meniscus, anything like that. He said he had conversations this morning at 6 a.m. with Dolphins cornerback Jack Jones about seizing opportunity and choosing to define your name and legacy by his actions. We hear from him, and he seems like he's in a different mental state than he has been in the past. He says talking about Patrick Ball, has been great. He has been great because he has to. Otherwise, you'll be miserable because you go on to grass against our edges. There's no days off. Talking about Quinn Ewers. He said Quinn Ewers is doing great. A quarterback's a leader of men. There's a personality trait within him that teammates gravitate to, which I absolutely love hearing. He says rookie safety Dante Trader may possibly return to meaningful practice reps by joint practice with Chicago and Detroit, which is next week. Yes, next week. Quarterback BJ Adams is doing well. He's in concussion protocol. He also had a shout out and a happy birthday to the defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver. So happy birthday to Anthony Weaver. Dolphins center Aaron Brewer will be doing a walkthrough situation per coach. Mike McDaniel said Fatu Melifanu is coming soon, which is good to hear. He said Darren Waller has been active with the tight end coach John Embry. Reiterates he is in tremendous shape, but not football shape. And your orange jersey of the day is Tua Tagovailoa. Here is Tua coming out of the tunnel. And they're playing the Miami Dolphins song as he comes out of the tunnel. All smiles. Good to see Tua Tagovailoa rocking the orange jersey. Tyreek Hill came out after stretching, so he joined for period 2. Why he was late coming out, I'm not going to speculate. If this is a reoccurring thing, then obviously nothing has changed. He could have been meeting with someone inside the building. He could have been doing his own stuff inside the building. He could have been getting anything done inside the building. I'm not going to speculate nor jump to any conclusions, but if this is a recurring thing where he again comes out after stretching, that will be a problem. Cornerbacks will be interesting to watch. This is from Chris Perkins without Cater today and without Storm Duck. So Storm Duck wasn't there as well. Interesting. Also, a little interesting little tidbit of information. Asante Samuel Sr. kind of changed his tune about the Miami Dolphins in a recent interview on his podcast, talking about I think he was talking about Tua. He was talking about one of the players, and he kind of changed his attitude. So we'll see how that all pans out. False start on Austin Jackson, the very first snap of 11 on 11s. That has become a daily problem for the offensive line. There's something at the end that should make us feel better about that. Ashton Davis sinks down and makes the play at the line of scrimmage on Achane to start practice. I'm hearing, especially from some of you guys that are at practice, that Ashton Davis is kind of struggling in coverage, but doing well at the line. And like I said, that to me seems to be where his situation's going to be. We're more of that Brandon Jones style play where you'll have a Fatu and Mika in the backfield. Willie Gay with a would-be sack on Tua threw the ball, and it was a completion to Tyreek Hill. There's a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks today, a lot of would-be sacks. Tua threw a dot to Tyreek Hill down the field on the sideline on that Willie Gay pressure. Tua jams one into Tyreek Hill. Oh, this is why I saw, because I'm like, why do I have 3 of the same? This is why I follow everyone from Chris Perkins to Omar Kelly to David Fiorenes to Travis Wingfield to Joe Shad to all of these beat writers, because you have Omar Kelly saying Willie Gay would be sacked, Tua threw the ball, it was a completion to Tyreek. Then you have David Fiorenes saying Tua threw a dot to Tyreek Hill down the field on the sideline. Willie Gay was in his face, would have gotten him. Then you have Travis Wingfield saying Tua jams one into Tyreek, and with Mika buzzing underneath, Davis over the top. The window looked non-existent, but Tua finds it. You have 3 different eyes in 3 different areas. So that's why I always follow all of these guys. Grayson Murphy with a tackle in the backfield on Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon made a nice cut back right and did some shifty moves to get to the second level. Hard to say if he would have been tackled. That is two separate plays. Strong cutback from Alexander Madison, starting left, seeing the hole was plugged and maneuvering to daylight on the right. Defensive tackle Kenneth Grant does a nice job sealing his gap, forcing run plays that was flowing left back to the right. Grant has done well without pads on. Tomorrow, the pads are on. Pat Paul and Jonah close the backside, and Jalen Wright hits a wicked jump cut. You could just tell who I'm reading. To the second level, Paul waves him to the third base coach after an exploding through the gap. So it's very nice to hear the left side with Patrick Paul, and Jonah doing really well. Tyreek Hill beats Isaiah Johnson badly on a slant. Johnson also got called for holding. To Tyreek. Brooks was applying pressure on that as well. And then Omar Kelly saying, I'm seeing a little surge created by the O-line today. He's very happy about that. Now red zone drills 11 on 11, starting at the 14-yard line. Madison short gain, middle left. He will be used in those situations. Willie Gay Jr. covered in the end zone versus Madison on Zach Wilson pass out of the end zone. Then we have this play here, which is Tyreek Hill. Shout out to Cash let me show you his @ Shout out to Cash here for getting us some footage here. This is Tua to Tyreek. Here's Tua. A little motion here. A little play action. Boom, over the middle. I think that's the play where Isaiah Johnson was called for holding. Offense now on the 7-yard line. Gordon might have had a touchdown up the middle. Gordon runs right to about the 2-yard line. Offensive line doing fairly decent work in close quarters without pads. Pads coming on tomorrow. Here's a pass from another angle. This is from the Miami Dolphins, their Twitter handle. Offense now at the 4-yard line. Dickinson and Murphy applying pressure and probably combining for a sack on Zach Wilson. Offense at the 14-yard line. Brooks tackle for a loss versus Wright. Brooks been doing well. I really like these linebackers. They're grown men. We have depth. We have definite depth with Britt, with Gay, with Brooks, and with Dotson at the linebacking core. For the first time in a while, I'm very happy with the linebacking core. Bradley Chubb dents the edge, and Jordan Brooks scrapes him off for the run stuff on right. Zach Wilson red zone series looked like his Jets start. He said, not good. It gets better. It does get better. Offense on the 12-yard line. Tua to right on a short throw. Zach Sealer with a tackle on Jalen Waddle on an end around. Got to pay that man. Give him that extension. Offense now on the 3-yard line. Tua to Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. And then offense at the 6-yard line. Tua incomplete for Malik Washington in the left corner of the end zone. Isaiah Johnson with a nice coverage. Tua then finally finds a touchdown to Tyreek that evades Ken Sherfield. Tanner Conner with a good 10-yard reception from Quinn Ewers. Here is, again, from Cash, the touchdown to Tyreek Hill in the end zone. Look at this angle. This is a good angle. Here's Dotson. Oh, you got to show it. You got to show it, my man. You got to show it. Ewers drops snap again. Offense at the 3-yard line. Unsure if it was on Ewers or on center Addison West. Then Jackson Carman false start, and Ewers drops another snap. So it's back-to-back snaps. Ewers finally high snap. Catches it, throws a 3-yard touchdown to A.J. Higgins. So 3 plays in a row, Ewers is having a snap issue with Addison West. Very interesting to see that. It's the first time in camp we're hearing anything about a snapping issue. Special team heavy day from Omar Kelly. He says insert a picture of him sleeping, which I thought was funny. Owns up to it, and he embraces it, which I think is great. We saw passes to small-ish wide receiver Tyreek Hill and Malik Washington, as well as tight end Tanner Conner, but no Westbrook. Not yet, anyway. I think we do get Westbrook. This is a run from Devon A. Chan. Little handoff here. A nice little lane. Again, it's hard to tell what it would look like with pads on, because did you notice there's not a lot of like pushing and grabbing? Now 11 on 11 starting at the 49-yard line. Jalen Phillips, free rusher on Tua, would have broken the man's ribs if their action was real. Ended up with a completion, but where was the blocker? That was from Omar Kelly. Tua to Waddle for maybe 20 yards. Marshall Jr. in coverage. Nice throw over Mika to Waddle with Marshall behind Waddle in coverage. To a nice short, accurate throw to Tanner Connor. Tua wearing orange jersey, been sharp so far today. Phillips probably tackle for loss, beating tight end Julian Hills a block on a H-hand run. Edge rushers having good camps as well. Not great hearing that about Julian Hill. Chop would have annihilated Tua up the middle on a sack. Throw results in a long completion, but got to do better than that, man. Willie Gay drops an interception. This man's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. Julian Hill with a 15-yard completion from Zach Wilson. Here is a nice little pass, deep pass from Tua to Tyreek Hill. I think this might be the would-be sack. Yeah. Still nice, though. It's a great play, but you could see. I'll show you when. Here comes right there. Here's Chop. Boom. He would have destroyed him. Just ran by him. Beautiful pass, though. Like, absolutely beautiful pass. In stride, everything, but he would have destroyed him. Zach Wilson to Westbrook on the left side for a long gain. Flag thrown for offsides. Spoke too soon on Zach Wilson, Omar Kelly said. He's carving up the second team defense during 11 on 11 reps. Love hearing that. Ewers, a good rip from the far hash to Armstrong for about 12. Estridge with a drop from Zach Wilson. The ball was on fire. It was coming out fast. Jordan Colbert picks off Ewers on a tip pass that was on target. I did not see the number of the receiver. Let's see if we could see it ourselves, because here it is. Oh, got blurry. I love how it has to get blurry on me. Looks like 13, not 13, obviously that number's retired. You got to catch that. Looks like 15 maybe. We'll look it up. See who it was. It kind of looks like it was Armstrong, to be honest with you. More red zone work. Ball at the 10-yard line. Practice is winding down. Zeke Biggers and Daquan Jackson with a stop in the backfield on a run from Ollie Gordon. Tanner Connor touchdown reception from Tua on a well-executed play. Connor wide open and makes catch on the ball, thrown a bit too far. Tanner Connor with the touchdown, first throw for Tua. Pour Some Sugar on Me was playing because Tua was obviously has control because of the orange jersey. I mean, has a very wide range of music he listens to. Benito Jones stops Achane for a 1-yard run, 3rd and 8 now. 3rd and 8 and goal. Phillips sacks Tua, beats Austin Jackson. Coverage sack. Nice job by the defense, especially the secondary. Then Chop Robinson flushes Zach Wilson out of the pocket on his first snap of the 11 on 11 red zones. Here is the touchdown from Tua to Tanner Connor. Little play action, rolling out to his right, wide open. Nice. That's why you got to get the run game going, because those play actions open up really well. And if I played the audio, which I wouldn't because of copyright, Pour Some Sugar on Me was playing, which is kind of funny. Zach Wilson to Jalen Wright for 7-yard touchdown pass in the middle of the field. Mika Fitzpatrick. You're like, what? What about Mika Fitzpatrick? He was the fourth player that got interviewed. It was the two new corners, and it was Willie Gay Jr. and it was Mika Fitzpatrick. We finally hear from Mika Fitzpatrick. Jeez, it like hit me almost 20 minutes into the video. Zach Wilson to Tariq Black for a touchdown. Pass protection did a nice job as the play took a hole. And then there's a little fight, a little scrummage between who is this between? I think it was between the rookie Grant and the backup center. But there's a little scrum. Not big. And then they kind of, stopped. Theo Weiss with an open touchdown reception from Ewers, clearly a busted coverage. Armstrong, a touchdown from Ewers, 3 passes, 3 touchdowns during the final red zone period. Theo Weiss with the second touchdown reception from Ewers. Ewers is smoking. This is what I love to see, right? And I talk about Tua and his role. Look at this, right? Tua's here, helping the rook. Helping him like get his cadence, everything, right? Goes off. Boom, touchdown. Who's the first to celebrate with him? Tua Tagovailoa. Leadership. He's helping his guy out. He wants the best out of him. Then practice is over now. Liam Eichenberg with a compression sleeve on his leg, and then you see this: the team doing push-ups after practice, and I think that has to do with a lot of the penalties, a lot of the bad snaps, a lot of that stuff, and then also the defensive backs stayed after and did some work. So good to see. Then we got some pressers from Jack Jones. He says you gotta you go through the rough patches when you question it all. You question whether you are going to play again. Thank God I got this opportunity. He said Jack Jones said his situation has a little spark under him that he shouldn't be on a third team in 4 years. I love that mentality that he's realizing that. He says when it's up, what is up is mine, he says. Geez, Doug. It's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 90-10. That's my mindset when the ball is in the air, Jack Jones says. Being more calm, I'm just really emotional, talking about like he's trying to be more calm. Going to free agency, I definitely expected some teams to come at me. This is Mike Hilton. It didn't go that way. I'm going to play my part. He said, I've been in the league 9 years, so I've seen a lot and done a lot, and that's why I wanted some of these vets to come here, not necessarily as like a progress stopper for these young guys, but to help them. A lot of us are vets and pros, and we know what we have to do to execute exactly. He says the timing was right, and I feel I have an opportunity to come in and make an impact. Then we hear finally from Mika Fitzpatrick after he got his restructuring of a deal. Mika says, I'm not a big social media guy. I'm not frustrated to be here. I appreciate my time in Pittsburgh. It's unfortunate, but it's business. My silence was not a reflection of my excitement to be here. I'm proud to be here. He said something else that I thought was incredible. This is what he said. Mika Fitzpatrick said he declines to answer any and all questions about the past. He essentially said, I'm here now. I don't want to talk about the past. Let's talk about now. Let's talk about all this stuff. Because there, and I agree with him. There's no point in what is asking him questions about Flores going to do? What is asking his question about being traded to the Steelers? None of those questions are going to do anything. Ask him about now, the team now. Ask him about Weaver, the young guys. Ask him about today. He said it's very nostalgic. It's almost like I went back in time being with the Dolphins. Anytime you look back on life, there's highs and lows, blessings and lessons. Mika concedes he was emotionally immature as a young player and he learned about how to better communicate and grow. He says, I haven't won a playoff game, haven't been to the Super Bowl, haven't won a conference championship. There's a lot for me to accomplish. It was reported that I wanted a new contract. I just wanted to know that I was going to be here for more than a season. So he wants to be here long term. He doesn't want to be traded again from the Dolphins to the Steelers, and then the Steelers to the Dolphins, and then crap hits the fan, and then boom, he's gone to another team. He wants to stay on a team, because you guys got to understand this. As a player, it takes a toll to constantly be moving back and forth and traded and packing up and grabbing your kids. Okay, we're going to Kansas City. Up, we're going to Baltimore. Up, we're going to Dallas. It's a lot. So a lot of these players want that security of, I'm going to be here for a few more years. So it was reported that I want to, nope, I already read that one. I don't want to come in and be overbearing. I want to get to know people before I tell them how to operate. 100%. 100%. They have some dogs up front, have some young guys who can play high level football. Our job is to not let the ball go over our head. That was Mika Fitzpatrick. Then Willie A. Jr. says the defense is perfect for guys like myself. He says, I don't see anybody else in the league that is as good as this group. He said he's a natural leader as a person and a player. There's nothing Jordan Brooks can't do. And finally, he says the edge is crazy. Oh my God, I don't even know who the starters are. Chop is young, at youngest and blank, SHIT. And that is practice from today. There's one thing I want to talk about before I get out of here, and it's something that someone noticed that I've been clamoring about and talking about ad nauseum, and it is this right here. The Miami Dolphins, someone noticed this and took a picture of it, and this is Jake, Fin Central, shout out to him. You look here, right? And he says you got Chubb and Chop on the edge, right? In the middle, you got, what does he say, Sealer at nose, and then you have Jalen Phillips standing. That's your four rushers right here. I've been telling you guys that's what I would love to do. Absolutely love to see that. I even would go as far as, if you're going to blitz an extra man, put Grant in there as well. So there's your four guys, and then have Phillips or Chop or anyone else coming up the middle. Pause on that. Sending pressure. So it's so far today, I'm happy with how the quarterbacks are playing. I'm happy how Wilson and yours bounce back. I think that competition for the backup quarterback position is a serious thing that should be looked at. I'm happy to hear what Mika had to say. I'm just happy with how everything's going. Now, tomorrow we're going to learn a lot more, especially with the pads coming on. Noah Fant, what's going on with that? Are we going to get a Sealer contract rework or extension, adding more cap space? Are we going to add another corner, more offensive line depth? Dolphins aren't done. It is making us feel better. Some of us, making me feel better. I wish they did this more in the beginning, but it seems like they needed to see what they had at training camp to see, okay, we need to add these pieces here and there, because they are still trying to compete. And again, now it seems like a move that a GM is doing that's on a hot seat by bringing in Noah Fant, by bringing in Mike Hilton, Jack Jones. Like, it seems like he's like, okay, I need to win. So very, very interesting. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts for today's practice. Also, if you haven't yet, go over. You could check out my podcast. That's not it, Doug. My podcast. So you might be listening to this on the podcast, and if you are and you want to see it, you go over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/DouglieDoWrong, to see the footage that I was playing. And if you're like, hey, I just want to drive and listen to your ramble, go check out my podcast. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Padded practice. Then they have practice again Wednesday, off Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they head to Chicago. If I'm correct, I'll remind you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. And Fins out.